Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's training. Now, we have a lot of people on the line. Some of you are still coming in, so while we're all getting settled in here, I want to know where is everybody from? Just put your answers in the chat box, and let me go over here and check it out. And it looks like we've got some people from California, we've got Florida on the line, New York, Texas, let's see. And we have UK, Australia. Awesome. Love my international peeps. Glad you guys can make it. Now, during today's training, I'm going to be interacting with you and asking you a lot of questions because it's proven that the more that you interact with any training, the more that you retain. So, for example, let's say that you and I are driving and I'm in the driver's seat and you're in my hometown of Las Vegas and I take you to 3 different places on the Las Vegas Strip. And then the next day, I ask you to drive me back to those 3 places. And even though you went there the day before, because I was driving, you're not going to know how to get there. However, if you had written it down and engaged with me along the way and asked questions about each place and how to get there, you could easily drive me there the next day. So, the purpose of that story is, I don't really need your answers in order to deliver value to you today because that's going to happen anyways. But today is really about giving you the opportunity to become a part of the training because when you engage physically, it also helps your subconscious retain more information than you normally would. So, as you're putting away your distractions and you're muting your phone and shutting the door, let's get to know each other a little bit better. Now, I want to know what kind of business that you're in so that I can better tailor today's workshop to who we've got on the line. So just let me know if you're in sales, if you're a business owner, or your career and looking for a job. Okay, looks like we've got a lot of business owners, consultants, we've got a lot of coaches here, a lot of marketing people, it seems like. Let's see what else. Okay, a lot of business owners. Okay, we've got some sales. Okay, awesome. All right, so we've got a good mixed group. It looks like the majority of you are either own a business or you're in a sales position. So great, you are in the right place. Um, Now, the past 2 days, if you follow the challenge, they have been dedicated to you experiencing how you can generate the perfect leads for your business or sales job using LinkedIn. Now, really with this challenge, we're just scratching the surface. So shortly, I'm going to share with you really how it all works and why it works and how to exponentially multiply any results you may have received so far. And also, if you got no results, I'm going to show you why and how to fix that because when you do this, you can add an additional 6 figures to your revenue, as you will learn from the campaign case studies that we're going to go over in just a little bit. So, my mission for you is today to be able to solve your lead generation challenge once and for all. So let's get right to it. Now, first, I want to show you Gary. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because I really want you to pay close attention today. Now, Gary was on the same workshop a few months ago that you're on right now, and he told me he followed the instructions. He didn't even follow them exactly as I told him. He kind of did it, but not as good as he should have or as quickly as I've instructed you to do. And even with that, he was able to get 2 really great appointments and one that's going to be a client. So I'm just showing you the message that he sent me on LinkedIn, showing you how what you're going to learn here today in this workshop works when you implement it. And even if you don't even implement it right all the way, it still works. So let me get back into my presentation real quick. All right, there we go. Now, let me ask you a question. Who here would like to add an additional 6 figures in revenue to your business just from one social network? If that's you, just say that's me in the chat box. All right, seeing lots of that's me's coming in. And if you're not putting in a that's me in the chat box, then you might as well just log off now because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, also, let me ask you this. How many of you here would like to have so many leads coming in that you're going to have to hire more salespeople to handle the lead flow? Now, say yes in the chat box? I better see lots of yeses, because if I don't, I'm just going to stop right here. All right, there we go. Great. Now, my goal is for your LinkedIn inbox to get messages like this one every single day. Now, you've taken the time to be here, which is your most valuable resource, and therefore I really respect that. And that's why I want to ask you, and this just ask yourself. This is something just put back in your head. What is it that you'd like to get out of our time together today? So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're here because clearly, you want to get more clients and faster. And number two, perhaps your business really isn't where you quite want it to be, which is cool because you're at least doing something about it just by being here today. Another thing I can think of is, you might be attracting the wrong clients, and you're here today because you want to learn how to attract better clients. And if you're here for any of those three reasons, then you're in the right spot. Now, it really doesn't matter if you've never even used LinkedIn at all, and it doesn't even matter what business you're in, whether it's business to business or business to consumer. Today, we're going to shatter a lot of misconceptions that people have about LinkedIn and how you can get started getting results quickly. And a lot of you may have already got results. Now we're just going to talk about how to close the clients or the response that you got from the challenge. So today, first, we're going to cover a detailed blueprint of a system currently generating 6 figures per year on LinkedIn for several companies. I'm going to take you to a couple case studies, and I'm going to show you the exact system that we're using. Part two, we're going to look at the 48-hour challenge and how it produces clients rapidly and how you can close more sales by also showing you how to get inside the mind of the leads and know how to better sell to the people that respond to you before you even speak to them. So when you stay to the end, I'm also going to give you a special gift, and I'm going to send you the slides to today's webinar. So if you want the slides, you have to be here all the way to the end, and then I will email them to you. Okay, sound good? Awesome, let's get right to it. Now, you're going to find a lot of value in today. If you're selling anything of value at all, this workshop today is for you. Now, Inside View, which is a CRM research company, they recorded that LinkedIn generates more leads for B2B companies than Facebook, Twitter, or blogs, but yet only 47% of marketers say they're actively using LinkedIn versus 90% who say they're using Facebook. So I'm sure by now you can see that the opportunity is just wide open, and it's a really powerful opportunity. Now, some of you here, and just say in the chat box, yes, that's me. If you feel like, sometimes you're just working way too hard just to get little to no clients. Now, that's how I felt when I first started my business. And then what happened was, as I started to get clients, I got stuck at a certain bracket. I could not get past $15,000 a month in gross revenue for the life of me. Like whenever I would surpass it a little bit, a client would cancel, something would happen, and it was like the income was just going up and down, up and down. So what happens is, when you're in business and you don't really have systems in place, um, to get leads and to really scale, you feel stressed. And then what happens when you feel stressed is you tend to attract more of that feeling. So then you get just even more stress. And perhaps, a lot of it is, that you have, this massive value that you can provide your customers. And if you can only reach more of them and get your value proposition in front of the right people, not only could you touch more lives, but you could also make a heck of a lot more money. I mean, that's 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 what happened to me when I first started. And so a lot of times, when you're feeling stressed, what happens is you'll take on clients that you don't really want to work with, and that's because you're worried about expenses, and some money is better than no money. And so then what happens is when you work with people that you don't want to work with, they drive you crazy, and then you feel like you have no time because they're draining you, and you really don't. And when you're experiencing this, and that's what I experienced when I first started my business, what happens is you're in survival mode. Now, let's not be all gloom and doom. I do have good news. The good news is that all of those are just symptoms of the bigger challenge, and when you solve that challenge, all these little ones take care of themselves. The real challenge is not having a consistent system to generate high quality, high paying clients day in and day out, because that's truly how you grow and scale a business. When you have a system, then you get to hire salespeople to handle all the leads, and when you start hiring more staff to take tasks away from you, you now have more time, you're able to grow your business, and you're able to serve your customers even better. Now, before we get right into the training, I just want to tell you a really quick story about like how this all came to be for me. Now, I was born in San Jose, Costa Rica, to a single mom, and she got married to an Air Force sergeant, and we came to the United States when I was 8 years old. And I did not know a word of English. So if you hear a little accent or I sound kind of funny, that's why. Now, we lived in Arizona for 7 years, and everything was great. Then when she got a divorce, we decided to move to Las Vegas. Now, when you think of Vegas, you think lights, glamour, great shows, the best entertainment, all that great stuff, right? However, the Vegas that I knew and grew up in looked more like this. Like, these are the actual apartments that we lived in when we first moved to Vegas, and that's a neighborhood that's right behind the Wynn Hotel. So if you go a little too far on the Las Vegas Strip, you'll end up in some sketchy places. And let me tell you, this place was sketchy. I mean, there was drug dealers and drunk people that lived next to us, and it was a mess. I mean, I would be scared, going to catch the bus in the morning, even though it was just like right around the corner to go to school. And I vowed to myself that I would never, let my family live in a place like this. And I remember these gorgeous towers being built, and this is literally like right down the street. I remember that they being built, and I was thinking, wow, like who lives there? How can they afford to live there? And how do these places look on the inside? So I was in awe of this place, and I told myself that one day, I would be able to live there too. However, when I first began my business back in 2012, it felt much like the picture that you see here. I started out selling SEO services for professionals like doctors and CPAs and lawyers and so on, but getting SEO clients was really difficult. I mean, I struggled. And the reason why is a lot of people have been burned by other SEO firms. And so back then, being a brand new business, I had no credibility to fall back on. And people would typically start out the conversation kind of negative because they're leery of SEO companies. Plus, I mean, that's like the worst sales pitch in the world, because you're telling people to invest in you for 3 to 6 months before they see any results. People get impatient. So it got so bad, I actually started to look for a job because I did not think I was going to be able to make this business work. And, I had about $1,000 left in my bank account and didn't have much time before I was going to have zero. And it's not like I wasn't trying. I remember just doing everything that I could to get clients when I first started out, like cold calling. Put a 1 in the chat box if you've ever tried cold calling before. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing several ones coming in. Now, say yes in the chat box if you actually enjoyed that. I'm not seeing any yeses coming in. Yeah, I mean, getting hung up on that, you can only do that for so long. Another thing that I tried very unsuccessfully was business networking events. My challenge with those is, you're limited to the people that show up, so the people that went to the event, and then you're further limited by the people that you actually get to meet and interact with. So, I mean, I joined the BNI group. I was there for 10 months. I gave out referrals, but I never got anything myself, so that was a waste of time. Direct mail, that was expensive, and the response rates are so low on that. Craigslist, I met several prospects, but they just wanted the world for a dollar, so that wasn't going to work. And I tried paid ads, but being a brand new business, you really got to know your stuff. You really got to have your funnels dialed in, and you got to know what you're doing so that you don't blow through your budget, which I did, and I didn't have much of one being a brand new business. So as I started to look for a job, I was using LinkedIn, and I realized that my ideal clients had profiles there. So I started to wonder, well, how can I get these people to respond to me and agree to meet with me to discuss their SEO strategy? And so while I was looking for a job, I read everything that I could on how to market on LinkedIn and started to test different strategies. And I ran an experiment, and using only, a few key strategies, the result says it all, a $50,000 client. Within just 2 weeks, I had my first client from LinkedIn, and this was much easier, faster, and cost-effective, both from a time standpoint as well as a financial standpoint, than the other strategies that I failed miserably with. And since seeing how well this worked, I decided to just focus on LinkedIn, optimize my strategy, and create a system that I would be able to get leads like this one every single week. And I used this system to take my business to 6 figures and ultimately to live in those towers today. That's the view of the Las Vegas Strip from one of the bedrooms in my condo. Um, but because of LinkedIn, something else has happened. Um, I've been mentioned on Inc., on Forbes, an entrepreneur, but what I'm most proud of is the results that I've been able to generate for my clients, and the results that I'm going to generate for you, because when you grow your business and you make it profitable and you've got a system that's bringing you your perfect, ideal clients every single week, I mean, you're just happy. I mean, that's the American dream. I mean, imagine every week you're getting the clients that you want to work with, and they're reaching out to you, they're in your inbox, they're booking appointments with you, you're having conversations, you're making sales, you're making good money. I mean, that is that's a life changing thing. And that's what I'm most proud of. I get to change lives every day, and I want to change yours as well. So thank you for being here today, because that is my goal, is to change your life as well. And on top of that, and fun side fact, I've been able to travel the world and speak. I mean, the photo that you see right there is me speaking in Bahrain to in front of the royal family. So that was pretty cool. All right, so let's get right into the training. Now, Genevieve is a client of mine, and when they first came to me, um, they were looking to reach doctors to be their distributors, and they were having a really difficult time getting in front of the doctors in order to present their offer. And anyone who's on the call today who has done work with doctors or professionals that are really busy people like attorneys or CEOs, or that if that's your target audience, you know that this is pretty much the same challenge that everyone runs into. It's very difficult to get these people on the phone because there's a lot of people trying to sell to them, since people know they have money. And they have secretaries to make sure that you don't get through. Um, However, we put a plan in place and a system in place, and the results were amazing. I mean, over a 5-month period, we connected them with almost 1,600 doctors, of which generated 89 sales appointments and 48 signed up as clients. Now, a client is worth 5 figures annually for them. So needless to say, they are extremely happy with the results of this campaign. So let's talk about how this was done. And now pay close attention, because the more attention that you pay, the more that you're going to learn right now. So step number 1, you want to stand out as the authority. And I'm going to cover each one of these in detail. Everybody wants to do business with the best, with the top of their field. So you need to make sure that you stand out as that person. You want to locate your ideal clients, connect with them, provide unique value, take the conversation offline, set that appointment, and then close that deal. So let's get right into how this is done. Now, step number 1, Does your profile currently read like a resume on LinkedIn right now? Now, if it does, it's okay. It's not your fault. The thing is, when your profile reads like a resume, you look and sound like everybody else. Now, I told you step one is you need to stand out as the authority, right? So this is what happens if your profile reads like a resume. Now, I'm not talking bad about this person. I don't know her. I just pulled the profile off of LinkedIn. Now, this person here is an SEO expert, programmer, does digital marketing, all this stuff. And she might be the best at what she does, but I don't know that. From looking at her profile, I just know what she does. Her profile is really all about her. It doesn't tell me, as someone who might be interested in her services, why I should connect with her or why she is better than the next person who looks and sounds exactly the same on LinkedIn. And the same goes for the rest of her profile. It just says what she does, not why I, as a prospect, would want to hire her versus, the 2 million other people that came up when I did for a search for SEO. Now, what I tell my clients and what I'm telling you is you've got to turn your profile into a sales letter. And step number one of doing that is start with a headline and move down from there. Now, it would be extremely easy for me to just have a headline that says, LinkedIn strategist, CEO at Wizard Media. But that doesn't really tell anybody why you want to connect with me or why I'm different than the competition or anything. So what you want to do is think about the results that your clients experience with you, because that's really what they're buying. And why are you different than the competitors? What are some things that make you stand out? Are you a best-selling author? Have you won an award? Have you saved your clients tons of time or tons of money or tons of something? That's what they want. So that's what you have to communicate throughout your profile, and it starts with your headline. Now, here's what happens when you do this right. Here's a prospect that I connected with, and because of the way that I wrote my profile, when he read it, he said, "Impressed, let's talk." Now, a couple things to note. I hadn't spoken to him, so what impressed him? Well, it was the profile. Now this is the power of the strategy. It literally pre-sells clients for you versus the other way around, which is what most salespeople experience, and you end up chasing clients. In this case, the client came chasing me. So that's what happens when you implement this step the right way. Now, another thing on your profile that you can use to leverage to increase your response rates and also further pre-sell your prospects are the recommendations. Now, in LinkedIn, testimonials are called recommendations, and these are very powerful. Now, how many times have you been in a sales situation and your prospect is asking you, well, do you have any references? Or, who have you helped? Or can you show me how this has worked for other people? I mean, I get that question all the time. And when I get asked that, I just say, you know what? Take a look at my LinkedIn profile. My testimonials are right there. You can contact the people who have left the recommendations if you wish. Those are the real actual profiles, and it's very obvious. And, this is by far the most effective leverage in a sales situation because you can say all the most beautiful things about yourself that you want, but it's never as powerful as when it comes from somebody else who has done business with you. Now, can you see how leveraging recommendations in sales situations is going to help you increase your conversion rates? Just put a yes in the chat box if that's something that you can see. Awesome. Seeing lots of yeses coming in. And this also really helps with people selling themselves to you. Now, this person found me on LinkedIn and said, hey, I read your testimonials. I like that you can assist me with all these things. And basically, he's emailing me, asking me to sell to him. And the reason why is because the profile piqued his interest. And when he read it, he was pre-sold through the recommendations. He realized, wow, I need help with that. And then the recommendation showed him that he'll be happy as a customer when he does work with me because other people have been happy with the results as well. I hope you're realizing what I just showed you is a way to shorten your sales cycle and increase your sales conversions just by leveraging LinkedIn in a way that most people haven't even thought of. Now, what if right now your current connections don't really have that many of your ideal clients? Because part of the challenge was to send a message to your ideal connections. Now, let me show you how to overcome that and what we do in all of our campaigns. We use LinkedIn's advanced people search. In using these filters, we hone in on exactly who your ideal clients are. Now let me show you an example. Now I did a search, and just for the sake of this particular example, let's say that I sell marketing services to dealerships. If I'm looking for dealerships and I'm looking for a marketing manager over there, I could just do a search, put in United States and put in my information, and I got 761 leads. I mean, look at the quality of the people that it pulled up. We've got the chief marketing officer at Hyundai, a VP of U.S. marketing at Ford Motor Company, the internet marketing manager at Volkswagen. I mean, it just doesn't get more targeted than that. And you're getting straight into that person's inbox with a higher probability of your email being sent. Now, I'll talk more about that in just a minute. Now, once you hone in on your ideal clients, you want to invite them to connect and send them a personalized message so that you have a higher probability of them accepting that request to connect. Now, doing what I just showed you, you are completely bypassing any security measures like gatekeepers that most really busy people have to keep salespeople away. For example, like if you try to call. So I just want to ask you, can you see how you could be using this in your business? No more gatekeepers, just go straight to the people that you want to connect with. And because you're doing it through a business umbrella, which is LinkedIn, the biggest social network on the planet, people are responsive and receptive just because of how you reached out to them. However, after you connect, this is where most people mess this up. They just start pitching right away to their ideal prospects, and this is a sure way to get your ideal clients to ignore all of your following communications. Now, one of my mottos is, when you do things in the right sequence and you say the right things and to the right people at the right time, the response is much different. So what do you do? When you connect with somebody, rather than sending them this whole pitch fest, you want to provide value. You want to let them know that you value their connection. You want to give them content that you know based on who they are and what they do, they'll find valuable, but it also shares your expertise. And then you want to ask for feedback because you want to start the conversation. And a lot of people respond to this style of message. And once you've got that conversation started, now you can get a meeting, take the conversation offline, and start figuring out how you two can work together. But you might be asking, well, what happens if they don't say anything? Not everyone's going to respond. I just told you that. Well, you send another message, and this time you're a little bit more aggressive about asking for the meeting. Now, the first part here, that's the actual first part of all the messages that we send when we ask for a meeting, and that lets us, make this more legit, for lack of a better word. And then you say what your company does, what you specialize in, and you want to focus on results because this is what they want. And then you want to request a time to talk further. Now, when you say the right things in the right sequence, the right people, and you've provided value, this is what happens. Now people are like, yeah, I'd love to talk to you. Monday works or this time works. Now, imagine getting messages like this in your inbox every single day. You'd feel pretty good, right? Because you've got quality, interested prospects wanting to meet with you and talk about how you can do business together. That's what this is all about. Now, one of the many reasons you want to use LinkedIn to message your prospects is HubSpot, which is a huge marketing company. They did a study and they discovered that emails that were sent through LinkedIn are opened 7 times more than regular emails. 7 times more. So just by using LinkedIn to connect and reach your ideal prospects, you are 7 times more likely to get into their inbox and get their attention and get them to open that email versus if you just try to send them an email through like their website or any other method. Additionally, you want to make sure that you're tracking your leads. Here's a screenshot of how we track leads, and that way we know what's going on with everybody that we've connected with and that has gotten messages, and we can keep track of, how to further follow up with these prospects. Now, in another study that was also done by HubSpot, they discovered that LinkedIn generated the highest visitor-to-lead conversion rate at 2.6%, which is 4 times higher than Twitter and 7 times better than Facebook. Yet, which platform are you using right now? Bet you is not LinkedIn for most of you. Pretty crazy, right? Now, why do you think this stat is? I want to give you a minute to think about this and put your answers in the chat box. I want to see why you think LinkedIn converts so much higher than other social networks. Let me go to the chat right here. Let me see what you guys have said. Okay, LinkedIn converts higher because it's business related. Okay, that's good. Let's see, because the people there have more money on average. That's really good, Dan. Let's see, any more responses here? People are on LinkedIn more. Well, not sure. So let me give you what I believe. I believe it's because they have the highest paid audience out of all the social networks. So Dan, you were right on point. That the annual income for a LinkedIn user is over $83,000 per year. So these people are very targeted, A, but they can also afford your services for the most part because their largest demographic, makes over $150,000 and the highest education is graduate school. These are highly educated, well-paid professionals that you can be reaching out to. I mean, some of the connections I've made I've made some connections with some very high-level people that there was no way I would have met them, otherwise just in my regular life. So LinkedIn is the biggest networking party on the planet that's going on 24/7. You're not restricted by geography, and you can get through to anybody that you want, no matter where they are in the world or what time it is. I mean, it's pretty powerful. Now, I always say Facebook is where the people that you know are, and LinkedIn is where the people that you should know are. All right, now let's get into the 2-day challenge because I'm sure you're wondering how we can close more leads for that. So step 1, it's always, message your ideal clients. So you did that, and once they respond, you want to engage with them, set the appointment, and close the deal. So I'll go through some of this kind of quickly because we've already covered it in the previous case study, but I just want to show you. So this is the message that you should have sent to 100, maybe 150 of your connections that you feel that there's a possibility to do business. Now, a lot of them should have responded. If you got no response, that's because your profile didn't pique their interest enough. Because remember, you're gonna send a message to someone. These are people that you haven't talked to in a while, and so they're gonna check you out. And if they don't feel like you're that authoritative or a person that they really want to do business with, they're probably not going to respond. Now, when you optimize your profile the right way, your response rates when you send this and any other message templates that we have are 3 times higher. And I've tested this several times, and it always comes out the same. So it's so important that you optimize your profile to like the way that I showed you, because that's going to affect your response rates and everything else that I teach you. Now, so if you got no responses, that's most likely why. And if you did get some responses, now let's talk about how to take that to the next level. So people respond. Now, I want to show you this message first, because if somebody responded and was kind of like, yeah, I'll meet with you, but I don't have any money right now to do anything. So, this person here, that's what they said. We still took the call, and this particular person ended up signing up for an $8,500 coaching program. So even though she said she had no money at the time, the reality was, once we talked to her, asked her the questions, went through the process, she was willing to invest. So this is a highly targeted prospect. Still get on the phone even if they say something like this, because that's still an opportunity. So don't get discouraged is my point. Now those people that responded and were like, yeah, like to meet with you, you want to send them a link to your calendar. One of the companies that I use is TimeTrade. You don't have to use TimeTrade. Just use something so that you guys don't go back and forth trying to figure out when you're going to meet, because you're going to waste so much time and you're going to be getting so many leads you don't have time to waste. So get a calendar system, send them a link to your calendar, and book that appointment. And make sure that you're tracking your leads. Now let's talk about closing the deal. So you want to research that prospect. Now they've responded. They've said, yes, I want to meet with you. So you want to know your stuff prior to getting on that call. Now, I discovered an awesome way to know a lot of important information about a person prior to meeting with them so that you know exactly how to steer that conversation. So shortly, I'm going to share with you how you can get this report as well and how you can use it on your prospects. So first though, just for the sake of this example, I ran it on myself and boy, this could not be more accurate. Check this out. This tells you exactly when speaking to me that you have to use colorful descriptions and tell a few jokes and talk about philosophers or ideas. So don't get right to the point right away because then I'll be turned off. So that's cool. Then it goes on to further tell you when emailing me to use expressive language and even use emoticons. If you ever email or text with me, you'll see that there's just happy faces and all kinds of stuff all over the place. So this is very accurate. I think this also tells you, when working with your prospect, when to schedule a meeting and what to do. But this is my favorite part right here. It says when selling to Jimena, it tells you exactly how to have the conversation so that I'm engaged and you have a higher probability of closing that sale. Now, would you agree that having this information prior to getting on a call with any prospect would be useful and would help you convert a higher percentage of your sales? Would you agree? Let's put a yes in the chat box if you would agree. Awesome. Yeah, seeing several yeses coming in. Yeah, absolutely, because you're armed with the right information. I mean, you already know that if they've agreed to meet with you and you've looked at their profile and they're like your perfect prospect, you already know that they're a qualified prospect. This gives you that competitive advantage to be able to close that deal. Now, let's talk about some numbers, because at the end of the day, this only makes sense if it generates revenue. Now, earlier you told me the businesses that you're in, and now let's talk about your pricing, because pricing is very important. A lot of people undercharge when using LinkedIn, and you don't want to be undercharging. So if you just want to put in the chat box, on average, what your services are worth, I just want to get an idea of what we've got on the line. Do you sell $2,500 a month? Is it $10,000 one time, or what kind of packages do you have? Wow, so Ken is a $25,000 consulting package. Okay, Maria is $1,500 a month. Okay, we've got Joseph at $1,800 a month. Okay, awesome. Then we've got Danny, anywhere between 3 to 7K for a website. Okay, awesome. So you guys, everyone here is pretty much high ticket. I mean, you get 5 clients. Basically, you're already at 7 figures a year. For those of you with the monthly retainers. Now, let's talk about how this would work for you. So let's say you connect with 50 prospects per day, right? You send 50 requests to connect per day, and about 40% accept, which is about 20 messages per day that you'd be sending, which is not a lot. I mean, this is very easy to do, very quick to do. That on average should get you about 40 interested prospects if you're doing this Monday through Friday. These are just average numbers from over tens of campaigns that we've run. From that, your average should be about 20 sales appointments per month. So 20 sales appointments. So if you talk to 20 prospects, now I want to see your answers in the chat box. How many of those do you typically turn into clients? You talk to 20 interested, targeted prospects that are your ideal clients. Okay, we've got 6, 4, 4, 4, okay, 3, 8. Wow, awesome. 9. Okay. So if your conversion rate is 10%, which is below average, you'd be getting around 2 clients per month. Now, those of you that are, $3,000 to $7,000 services, that's a good chunk of change. And those of you, I mean, all of you that I saw your answers in the chat box, all of you would make really great money just at a 10% conversion rate. If you just increase your conversion rate to 20%, which is again very doable, especially with everything I've shown you, you can get 4 clients, which is a lot of revenue. Now I want to show you another case study because you might be saying, okay, well, Jimena, well, Genevieve, they're making 6 figures, they got all these clients, that's great, but is it going to work? How does it work for other people? What kind of results have other people gotten? So this is a campaign that we only ran for 4 weeks because we had a short period of time before. This was for an event. So we had a client that was promoting an event. We reached out to their ideal audience and got a 38% acceptance rate, which is about where you want to be. We had about 940 new connections, 172 interested leads, and we had 7 sales at $10,000. So how did we do it? So this was a shorter campaign because we didn't have a lot of time. So in message 1, instead of providing value, we asked several qualifying questions, and then we asked them if they would like more information, if they fit our criteria. And for the people that said yes, those were the 172 people, they said, yes, I would like more information out of the 940. So those who wanted more information, we sent them to a webinar which explained what we were doing, so what the client was doing, and what the offer was, and why they should care and why they should buy it. And before they could even buy it, they had to apply. So right below the video, there was an application form to speak with my client. And from that, they were able to get 7 sales at $10,000. So pretty cool, right? So a lot of times there's unique ways that you can do these campaigns, but it's always the same thing. It's you find your ideal audience, you optimize your profile, you reach out to connect, say the right things in the right sequence, put in the right funnel in place, and boom, we get results. Now, Shane, when he did this, we did amazing with him. I mean, it was able to generate a $12,000 in recurring revenue in his first 60 days. So that's $144,000 per year. He was cold calling when we started working together, and he was able to take his prospecting time from 4 hours a day down to just 30 minutes because LinkedIn's much quicker, works a lot better. And his sales cycle was long. It was on average taking him 3 months to close a deal. We got it down to less than a month with some of the strategies that we implemented. So needless to say, he's saving quite a bit of time and making a lot more money. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm an XYZ business. How is this going to work for me? And I really want to explain this point. I want to take some time on this point because one of the things that I find there's 2 things that I find when I work with business owners when it comes to LinkedIn. Number 1, you do nothing because you don't know what to do, so you just don't do anything, but you're missing out on potentially adding 6 figures of revenue to your business from doing this. So that's not really an option. Doing nothing is not an option if you're serious about your business and making money. The other challenge that I find is being stuck in the box that, well, I'm an XYZ business, is this going to work for me? And just think about this. In any business that you're in, it's not just you and your business in the corner. People make up your business. Even if you're self-employed, people are the ones that buy your products and services, right? There's other people. So obviously those are people that you can reach out to. That's the most obvious, getting clients on LinkedIn. There's other people that sell to your target audience that are not direct competitors, where you two can joint venture together and promote each other. So that is a way to grow your business, and you can develop those relationships on LinkedIn as well. There's other people who write articles for publications. So if you can pique their interest, connect with them on LinkedIn, develop that relationship, you can get PR. That gets eyeballs on your business, that brings traffic, that brings sales. If you're looking for investment, I've had so many people that I know have success getting investment using LinkedIn. So, I mean, there's so many ways that you can use this. So if you're in a business to consumer kind of business, you can use this to connect to people that can offer your products and services in their store. If you're in B2B, I mean, it's very obvious. You can use this to connect with your ideal clients and book sales appointments. You can use this to drive traffic to your offers. I mean, the opportunities are endless. The target audience here converts higher than any other social network, so can you ignore this? Absolutely not. Now, I want to ask you a question. Is it okay if I share with you how I can help you ensure that you have success getting clients from LinkedIn moving forward once we're done here today? Just put a yes in the chat box if that's cool. All right, awesome. Seeing lots of yeses coming in. So today you've got really 3 choices. Number 1, take what I've taught you here today and just do absolutely nothing. Now, because you're here today, I doubt you're that kind of person. You took the time to learn and get some strategies to really grow your business, so I really don't think that's an option, but that's something that you could do. You could also take what you learned here today and try to implement it on your own. However, you've got the bird's eye view strategy, but you don't have the nuts and bolts. So a lot of times when you're implementing something, there's questions that come up, and you might do something, or you might interpret something that I taught you here today one way when really it's another way, and this happens all the time. Or you can just get the blueprint that you need to ensure you implement the system the right way and attain success much faster. Now, attaining success faster is important because money you can always make more of. Time you can't. Once time is gone, it's gone. So when you don't have the support and you don't have somebody to help you with the questions that you're going to have, things just take longer, and taking longer costs more money. So I want to help you save time and money, and I'm just going to give you the blueprint and all the details that you need to have success with LinkedIn. If you can copy paste, you can have success. Let me show you how and why. Now, this system is not going to be for you if you're not the kind of person that is willing to invest in your business and your success, or if you have a victim mentality and you're totally A-okay with where you are right now and your current results. And also, this is not going to be for you if you're not committed to taking action. This is going to be for you if you're serious about actually getting clients and closing business immediately, if you're fully committed to your business and you're able to take responsibility for your own success. Now, my job is going to be to guide you to make sure you do it right. Your job is to implement. Now, if that's you, I want to work with you. Now, let's take a look at what you're going to get inside the 7-week program. Now, in the first week, we're going to dive deep into your foundation, and that's your profile. Now, we went over some profile optimization strategies already here today, but we did not have enough time to cover the entire formula to turning your profile into a prospect attraction and conversion tool. So, this first week is all about helping you stand out as the authority in your field, and this is going to be crucial to having prospects reach out to you like the one that you see here. I mean, can you imagine having prospects reaching out to you like Eric here? I mean, it's awesome. That's what you want. And this is going to be very important to have success in other lessons. Now, in week 2, you're going to get the entire messaging system with message templates and prospect tracking sheets exactly as my company deploys it for clients that are generating 6 figures per year with LinkedIn. So this is what I was saying. If you can copy and paste, you can use our proven templates, just put in your information, copy and paste, and you will have success using this system. Now, this is exactly what our done for you clients pay thousands of dollars per month for us to do for them. So when you do this, you'll soon experience how when you say the right things to people in the right sequence, as I'm going to show you in week 2, these are the types of responses that you're going to get from your ideal clients. Now, if you prefer having prospects chase you versus you chasing them, then you're really going to want this one badly because that's exactly what we're going to go over in week 3, which we didn't even have time to touch on at all today because there's no time to cover everything in just one workshop. And the information in this particular week is how I got the first client that I ever attracted on LinkedIn, which is the one that you see here on the screen. Now, we all know how psychologically important having massive social proof is. We went over this earlier. So I'm going to show you not only how to get recommendations from your current clients, which is easy to do, but you'll also learn how to get people who have never worked with you leave a recommendation for you and how to turn them into clients as well. Now remember, you can say whatever you want about yourself, but what somebody else says about you 1,000 times more powerful than anything you could ever say. So I just want to ask you, can you see how leveraging this social proof is going to increase your chances of success? I want to see some yeses in the chat box. All right, seeing lots of yeses, great. Now, this is one of my favorites right here. In weeks 5 and 6, we're going to go over some really ninja traffic strategies. Now, LinkedIn traffic is expensive. I mean, you could be paying $5 per click or more when you do LinkedIn pay-per-click. So in weeks 5 and 6, we're going to go over some traffic strategies to get that same traffic from LinkedIn at a fraction of the cost and even for free. Now, the information in those weeks is how I got the result that you see on the screen. Investment was $750, revenue was $5,000, and I saved about $4,000 in ad spend because if I had paid LinkedIn for that same traffic, I would have spent a lot more money. I mean, I basically got LinkedIn traffic for 35 cents with this campaign. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that as well. And remember, this is one of the highest converting traffic sources for business owners today. So that lesson alone right there is worth the investment of admission. Now, I know we're all busy, and the last thing we all want to do is have an extra thing to do on our calendar, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you outsource your entire LinkedIn campaign so you don't have to do any of it, and you only get involved when you have messages like this one in your inbox. Does that sound good or does that sound good? All right then. Now, this system, I mean, the total value of the system is over $3,500. And if all this program did for you was just help you get 4 new clients per month or 15 to 20 sales appointments per campaign that you're running, more than pays for itself. And if all this did for you is just help you get LinkedIn traffic for 35 cents a click or less, I mean, again, more than pays for itself. Or if all the system did for you is just help you cut down your prospecting time and cost like it did for Shane, again, more than pays for itself. However, even though this system is proven time and time again to help businesses add an additional 6 figures to their bottom line, and we agree that even at $3,500 this would be a steal, when you take action now, you're going to get it at the special investment of just one payment of $347 or 2 payments of $197. I mean, that's it. You can go to the link below. You can join right now. I mean, this is a very low investment for the ton of value that you're getting and the strategies that you'll be learning that when implemented will work. And I know that will work. That's why I'm taking all the risk away from you with my no questions asked 30-day money back guarantee. All you have to do is email support during the day. As long as it's Monday through Friday, we will issue you a refund if you're within your first 30 days. So since you're 100% protective, you really only have the opportunity to gain from joining this program right now. So I want to make this even better for you though. I want to give you a personal guarantee because I understand that my success is dependent upon yours. So I'm very invested in you because my reputation is on the line. So if you haven't made at least $5,000 in sales in your first 3 months and you followed the system meticulously and you implemented it, We are going to personally work with you. My team and I are going to sit down and work with you, see what you're doing, make sure that you get results so that you can make money with this and you can make a lot of money. I mean, the $347 is peanuts compared to what you're going to make. And I'm able to make this personal guarantee because I know that this works. And when you follow the system, you'll get results. And if you don't get results, we'll see what you're doing incorrectly to ensure that you do. Never had anything fail yet. So my goal is when you join us today, that you'll also be able to join the many success stories before you, like Mike. And once you have this system, you're going to learn the exact same methods that he used to grow his business, and now his only source of new leads and new clients is LinkedIn as well. Now, I want to reward action takers. So for the first 50 of you who join, and I'm going to be updating this on the sales page, I have a very special bonus. Earlier, we discussed the personality reports that you can use in order to know exactly how to speak to and sell to your prospects prior to getting on the phone with them. So I'm going to give you 10 reports per month for free for 3 months using this tool. Now, this is a premium service that we normally offer at $197 per month. So for the first 3 months, this is completely included when you join us now, and it's going to help you close more business faster. There's nothing to cancel or renew. You're not going to be charged again. You are getting these reports, so you're going to just email us when you have a prospect that you want to check out prior to getting on the call, and we will send you how to sell to them, how to email to them, how to communicate with them, so you increase your chances of success. Additionally, I have another very special bonus, the Secret Connector software. Now, typically, this software only offers a 7-day free trial. However, because I personally know the lead investor and I twisted his arm to give you an entire month to test the software for free. Now, what does this software do? Everything that we went over here today. It finds your prospects for you. It connects with them. It sends them custom messages. It sends them messages on day one, and it helps you keep track of everything. Now, this is why LinkedIn is not going to take very much time for you, because you're going to have the content, the copy that you need to send to your prospects. You're going to have the training, and you're going to have the software to ensure that you just push a few buttons and you leave it running in the background where you're doing something else, and it's out there working for you, connecting and communicating with your prospects for you, all in the background with the push of a button. So you're going to get that today. And lastly, I have a very, very special bonus because, like I said, my success is dependent upon yours. And I want to make sure that you're going through this course that you have success. Now, when you take action today, my team and myself will do a personal profile review to ensure that you start your LinkedIn foundation correctly. Because remember, the way that you write your profile is going to affect the way that your results, the results that you get when you implement everything else. So we want to make sure you have your foundation set up right. So we're going to review your profile for you to ensure that you have your best foot forward and you're able to impress your ideal clients. Now, I want you to think about this. In 3 months, when your earnings have increased, you're going to look back at today and feel relieved that you made the decision to join this program because you're getting all of this value when you join us today. Now, we're going to get into the Q&A. I do see some questions coming in, so let me get right to it. All right, how much time is this going to take? So each week has anywhere from 5 to 10 videos. Each video is no more than 10 minutes. So most weeks are about an hour worth of training. And the reason why I have it done over a 7-week period and each week a new week opens up is because I don't want you to just go through the content and not implement anything. And that's what most people do. And I noticed that, and I'm so invested in your success that I want to make sure that you do this right. So go through week 1, you implement that. And once that's implemented, go through week 2 and implement that. I've put together this course in the order that you're supposed to take action. This is really a blueprint here. So when you do it this way, you will have success because you're saying the right things in the right sequence to the right people, and you're implementing it in the right order. Let's see. All right, like several of you have joined us. Thank you. I look forward to working with you. How fast will I see results? Within the first 30 days, if you follow the system, and especially if you use the software within the first 30 days. So absolutely, you'll start getting leads right away, and it all depends on, I mean, it also depends on your sales cycle, but the majority of people within the first 30 days, you'll see results. How many clients will I get? Well, so that's not something I can really say because I don't know your closing ratio, I don't know your business, I don't know a lot about you, but I know that if you can close just at 10% of the people that you talk to, which most people can do at least that, even if you're kind of a terrible salesperson, when you talk to qualified prospects, you will have success. And will you get qualified prospects with this course? Absolutely. Let's see, any more questions? Okay, looks like that's it. So if you do have any more questions, you can always email support@linkedblueprintcourse.com. Go to the link below to get started right now. And I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.